For the group discussion during the online learning weeks, don't forget to follow my instructions in the teaching backup plan on Tron class. To do the discussion this week, I need you to look at the photo on page 116. Question 1. Do you relate more to the people in the photo who are rushing around or those sitting down? Why? And then a follow-up question. How much time do you spend doing nothing? Is it wasted time? And why? Everyone needs to offer their responses to those questions. Have a group member collect everyone's responses to these questions and upload the file in 2 days. Okay? Follow the instructions. Don't forget. For the last thing we need to do in our lecture today is the third conditional. Let's review when we use the third conditional. We use the third conditional to describe a situation that didn't happen and to imagine the result of this situation. To put it more simply, it means to describe something that is unreal in the past. For the sentence pattern, don't forget for the conditional clause, which is the sentence that starts with if, you need to use the past perfect. And for the result clause, you need to use would have and followed by past participle. And these example sentences are for your reference. Let's take a look at the third one. If my dad hadn't given me a ride, I would have been terribly late. A question I might ask you on the oral test would be, did she make it on time? Okay, I ask you this to check if you do understand what the situation is. Okay, if you want to know more about the third conditional, don't forget to refer to the pages at the back of your textbook. Okay, make them useful. Now I would like you to turn to page 119. On page 119, please take a look at activity 11. You see 6 questions, and these 6 questions are all about the third conditional. Use these 6 questions to be more familiar with the sentence pattern, and I would like you to pause the video to do that. And when you come back, I will raise some questions to check if you understand the situations. So now please pause. Okay, I assume you did what I asked you to do. Now let's go over the answers. The first one, Jiromo Kimura lived all the way to 116 years old. Wow, what a long life. He said he wouldn't have lived so long if he had eaten big meals. He always had small portions. A question to ask yourself would be, did he eat big meal? Yes or no? The second one, Jean-Louis Common is the only person to have lived to 122. She thought that if she hadn't worried about her health, she would have died much earlier. A question for you to consider would be, did she pay attention to her health? The third one, Fred Hale believes he wouldn't have served for the first time at 95 years old if he hadn't eaten honey all his life. A question for you to consider would be, did he think honey was important in his life? Okay, hopefully you have answers, okay, to the 3 questions I raised. The fourth one, Emma Morano was the last person alive to be born in the 1800s. If she hadn't lived as a single woman for most her life, she would have been a lot less healthy, she thought. So, a question for you to consider would be, did she think being single is good? The fifth one. In the survey, a third of the 100-year-olds questioned said they wish they had spent more time with loved ones. Then, did they spend enough time with their loved ones? Finally, a quarter of them said, if only I had saved more money when I was younger. Then, did they save money when they were young? Hopefully, you also have answer to these questions. Alright, I do hope you got all of the answers right and you are now more familiar with the third conditional. Good job today. We have accomplished a good deal. First, we learned about expressions of time, and then we do a listening exercise to listen to advice from 8 old people. Then we learn about John Harrison and the longitude problem. And finally, more practice on the third conditional. Okay? A reminder for you, don't forget to upload the responses for your group discussion on time. I will see you next week online again. Stay safe and keep learning. Bye bye.